Hi guys, I'm Lynette Williams with the Pioneer Library Service. I'm a teen volunteer and today I'm going to teach you about basic word processing using Microsoft Word. So let's get right into it. You just go to your search bar and I'm going to type in Word and looks like I already have a document, so let's open that up. And then click File, New, Blank Document, double click. And here we are. We're here at Word. You'll probably have a shorter way. If you type Word and then click on it, it'll initialize. For some reason, I don't have an icon. As you can see, you've got a lot of options. It's a little overwhelming at first. So we're going to try and go through all the individual tools available with Microsoft Word. And I'm going to try and break it up as best I can to make it really easy on you guys. By the end of these lessons, you should be a word processing master. So let's go and let's define word processing. So I've got the dictionary definition right here. Word processing is writing, editing, and production of documents such as letters, reports, and books through the use of a computer program or a complete computer system designed to facilitate efficient and rapid manipulation of text. So essentially, a word processing, definition of word processing is rapid, effective manipulation of text by computers. So just making it really easy on you so you don't have to use a typewriter or write by hand. That's pretty slow. So let's start off with just the very basic title bar. Here's the title bar. As you can see, it says Document 1, which is a standard Microsoft Word default name for any unsaved document. And then over here we've got our minimize, our restore, and our close button. And you're probably aware of what those do, but if you've managed to forget, our restore button, it changes the size of the window, so I can restore it to its original size. Our minimize button shrinks the window down, and then our close button closes the program. So let's get into the very basic file bar. File bar, all kinds of functions here. It's right over here. It's called the File button. On some older editions of Windows, it'll be the Windows button. It's called the Office button. But we will be using the newest edition of Microsoft Word, Microsoft 2014. If you have Microsoft Word Works, I'm sorry, but this tutorial will not help you, and I will not be creating a Word Works tutorial, so you'll have to look elsewhere for that. So here we are on the File menu. As you can see, we've got a lot of options. We can save our document, which we currently have not made any edits to. We can save as, and we'll go over that. We can open a document, and we can close the document. And then we have these larger tabs that give us more options. So as you can see, I'm on Info, and we've got like permissions. We have Prepare for sharing and versions, and these are all just different features, so I can protect my document from people using permissions and all kinds of interesting things. And then Recent shows documents which I've recently edited or recently opened, or file folders which I've recently opened. So as you can see, I've very recently been in my Documents folder, all these different folders, Learn Korean, it'll list all these, but and then over here you're going to have your documents, so documents you recently edited. This is really useful if you can't seem to find your file by clicking the Open button. You can go over here to the Recent, and as long as you've recently edited it, it should be here. Here is our New button. So the New button you're probably going to use a lot because it creates a new document. As you can see here, we have lots of forms. We have a blank document, a blog post, a recent templates, a sample templates, my templates, new from existing, all these different templates, and it's pretty overwhelming, but you're probably going to want to start out with blank document. Here is our Print button. As you can see here, all our printers are listed, so we can just simply press the Print button, and it'll print our document. And as you can see, we don't really have anything on the document, so there's no reason to really print it. I will be creating a different video on how to set up printers. It's kind of complicated, but once you learn it, you'll never forget it. So check that out if you want to learn how to set up a printer. Here's the Save and Send tab, which allows us to send documents using all these different things like SharePoint, the web, email, all these different things that let us save it and send it to different locations. And then the Help button. So if you're having trouble, you can get help from Microsoft itself, all these different options to get you going. Hopefully this video will help you out enough to where you can do basic word processing, but never be afraid to contact a professional at Microsoft. They're really helpful. So we're going to do the quick access bar. So quick access bar is right up here. As you can see, I've got a back button and then a can't repeat button, a back button, a forward button, all these different buttons to help us choose what we'd like to do, a save button, and then the little word symbol. Right here we've got our customized quick access bar, so we can put little icons like spelling and grammar. So spelling and grammar basically lets us check the documents spelling and whatnot. We can just set this up. So say I wanted to include the open button, so I could click on this and it will open a file for me. So I put the open button in, and that's really helpful if you want to customize it to you. Here is the undo and repeat typing buttons. Yeah, they undo recent changes and they allow you to retype large bodies of text. It can repeat actions, so say I press the enter button and then hit that repeat button, it will repeat it. So there are two ways to close the document. You can press the X, or you can go to the file button and click exit, and that just lets you get out of Windows Word, but I'm sure you know that. Right here is our ribbon. So this is basically where all the tools are at. And there are a lot of tools, and we'll try to get to them all. So as you can see, we've got 7 different tabs. These tabs each contain different options. So here at home we've got a clipboard for storing options and stuff, and copy paste. We've got fonts, paragraphs, stylings, and editing. And then on the insert, we can insert pictures, all these different items that we can insert into the document. And then on page layout, we have a lot of different layouts, so like margins, orientation, the size, all these different things to edit the way we type and the size of paper we type on. References is basically like table of contents, footnotes, citations, and bibliographies. Captions, index, and table of authorities. These are just if you're writing papers, resumes, all that different stuff. You would use this tab a lot to help you write citations and whatnot. Mailings, we can create mailings. We can enable mail merge, which inserts fields such as name or addresses. So basically, if you're writing a letter and you want to write like to blah blah blah, and you could click the mail merge and it would merge in the address and all that stuff that you'd like to mail them with. And then you can add like the address block, the greeting line, tables, whatnot. So basically everything to do with writing a letter. Review, it basically just, you have options like check your grammar, research some of the things you talk about in your paper. You've got a thesaurus, so you have basically use a thesaurus so you can type in a word and find similar words. You've got a word count, so you know how many words you've typed. And then you've got all these other different tools for translations and languages and all of that. And then view lets you see the paper from different angles, so we can do 100% zoom, we can see the outline, all these different, we can see full screen, all that kind of stuff. So you can minimize the ribbon by pressing this button if you'd like to hide it, if it gets in your way. That's really up to you. The scroll bar right over here, we're going to go back to our home. Here's our scroll bar, and you can go up and down the document. Right now we don't really have anything typed, so there's not a whole lot to see. But you can go up and down the document and look at all that. If you scroll your mouse wheel on these tabs, you can also quickly move over to different tabs if that makes it easier for you. Here is our status bar down here. So as you can see, right now I'm at 90% zoom, so my paper is 90% zoomed in. So I can zoom in and out of the paper. I like to leave it at 100. Then right over here is our word count, so how many words we've typed. And if you click it, it can open up this little box that tells you all the information, all the statistics about your word count. And then right here is a little spelling and grammar check device, which automatically checks our spelling and grammar and corrects it for you, which is really nice. The insertion point right here is where we start typing. Let's just type out a basic sentence. Hello, welcome to Word. So as you can see, my insertion point moved across the paper as I typed. So you know, it's kind of like on a typewriter where you have the little, I don't know what you call it, I've never used a typewriter. I guess a hammer, which sort of types letters onto the paper. The same with this. I would recommend you always make sure you know where the insertion point is at. And the thing has a tendency to move around if you're not careful. As you can see, I'm pressing the enter button, and it will go all the way down the paper if you're not careful. So always be aware of where your insertion point is at. So let's test our grammar. So let's test our grammar check. So right here, as you can see, it says welcome to Word, which is incorrect. So it has these little red squiggly lines, and that means that there's an error or an issue with the word. So if you just right click on it, it'll say welcome, and you click on that and it spells it for you. You can also see down at the status bar that the proofing errors were found. So that means that there are problems on your paper. And if you click on it, it will auto-correct everything. So that's really handy. You'll learn to like the grammar tools on Microsoft Word. They will really help you out. Correcting mistakes, yeah, we've been over that. So now let's get to selecting text and making changes to a whole block of typing. So right now I have this open. I found this on this computer. I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm going to see what we can do with it. So let's right click, and as you can see here, I've got all these different options. So I can do all these different interesting things that will edit the selected text. So how I've selected it is I press my left mouse button. Here's your left mouse button, and I've just clicked and dragged it up and got all that text, and it should be blue. Then I've right clicked and I've opened up this little menu, and as you can see here, this looks very similar to your ribbon right here. It's all these different font options, so grow font, shrink font, bold, italicize, underline, all these different options. And then we've got bullets and paragraphing and numbering. So you can just mouse over these little arrows and it will give you bullet options. So look, I can click that and bam, it's automatically bulleted for me, which is really nice. So let's bold some text. So we're going to right click, bolded, and then italicized, and then we're going to underline. And these are the three examples of the bold, italicized, and underline features. Underline does give you different options for lines if you click on the little arrow, but I recommend the plain line, but it really depends on what you like to use. Also, we can also edit the font. So let's go into our font option.